Hello and welcome to our final Eagle Talk episode of the school year. I am Ben Vahey and with me is Jonathan Gehring.
We have a jam-packed show today covering the end of the season for most of Brockport Spring sports teams. A few Section 5 high school teams still in action, including a milestone among one of them. And we recap the Rochester Americans playoff series versus the Toronto Marlies.
But once Brockport Spring sport teams that made the SUNYAC tournament this year was women's lacrosse. Before the team hosted New Paltz at home Tuesday, in the playoffs, they had 2 regular season games remaining. Let's check in with them as they took on St. John Fisher and Cortland. In the final home game of the regular season, the Brockport Golden Eagles hosted the number 12 ranked St. John Fisher Cardinals Wednesday afternoon. First half, Fisher strikes first. Fayetteville Manlius product Signe DiGiolamo takes the pass from Mallory Elmer to put the Cardinals on the board 1-0. Brockport responds a couple minutes later. Allison Jennings with the beautiful pass to Victoria Thompson, who fires shot past the Fisher goalie. Game tied up 1-1. Then Brockport takes the lead less than a minute later. Julie Cabarlo, the freshman, tosses it to the senior Jade Williams for the goal off the tic-tac-toe passing. That was Williams' only goal this game as Brockport goes up 2-1. But Fisher would come back and tie it seconds later. Emily Thompson, the Canandaigua native, with the one-timer. Game all knotted up at 2. And Fisher would go on a roll after that. Check out this goal on a difficult angle from DiGiolamo. Somehow she's able to knock that past Brockport goalie Morgan Elmer for the goal. 12th ranked Fisher spoils Brockport's last home game, 14-5, the final.
In a SUNYAC road rivalry game Saturday, Brockport women's lacrosse heads down to SUNY Cortland. This game was quite the matchup. Second half, Brockport up 1 when Cortland responds. Carly Stone, the Jamesville DeWitt grad, tickles the twine for the Red Dragons. Game tied up 6-6. Couple plays later, it's Stone again with the one-timer. Cortland takes the lead 7-6. Brockport coming back, though. Game tied at 11 when Victoria Thompson blasts one in and falls down right here. As you see, Brockport now taking the lead 12-11. But Cortland, they come right back to put the game away once again here, as you'll see in a minute. Carly Stone, the former Red Ram, I should say, has 3 goals for the Red Dragons. All at critical moments, Brockport falls to Cortland in a nail-biter, 14-13, the final.
The team clinched the home playoff game they were hoping to clinch Wednesday as they took on New Paltz. Little over 5 minutes into the game, Sarah Grapevine buries it in. Brockport on the board first, 1-0. The Hawks come back moments later, though. Katie Zito splits one between the pipes. Game now tied up 1-1. And then it's the freshman, Allison Jennings, with the Brockport one-timer. Brockport cruises past New Paltz to take this one, 17-8 the final. They will have a rematch with Cortland this Friday at 4 p.m. at SUNY Geneseo for the SUNYAC semifinals. So, John, what can you say about the Brockport women's lacrosse team? Only team left alive in the spring sports season, in the playoffs. They just beat New Paltz, but now they got to go to Geneseo to take on Cortland. What can you say?
Well, they've had a great season so far, and I look forward to seeing what they can do moving forward. It's going to be a tough game, though, at Geneseo.
Oh, yeah. And also, Heather Conklin just set a record for the most goals scored in a single season. They got a lot of good talent, too. They got Allison Jennings. She's only a freshman. She's killing it. Jade Williams is a senior. Look at that. The freshmen, seniors, they're all mixing together. And look at the results.
Yeah, amazing.
Excellent.
Well, now we shift to the men's side of lacrosse as Brockport play their final home game of the season on Saturday. It was a very windy Saturday for Brockport men's lacrosse as they hosted Plattsburgh on Senior Day. First quarter, Cody Korabeka scores between the pipes, beating the Cardinals goalie down low. Brockport up 1-0. Minutes later, Billy Coppola, he beats the wind down low, and the ball finds its way to the back of the net. Golden Eagles now up 2-0. Second quarter, Plattsburgh gets on the board. Stephen Kane with the rocket past the netminder. Brockport, though, would take this one, going on to win on Senior Day 7-2, the final, ending their season with a 6-8 overall record and just 1-5 in SUNYAC play.
To baseball now, with Brockport's field not playable and hometown heroes canceled, they move their games to U of R this weekend to take on Cortland. Top of the first inning, all Cortland. With 2 on and nobody out, Wyatt Myers with an RBI double for Cortland. Red Dragons take an early 2-0 lead. Still in the top of the first, Cortland hits a ground ball to shortstop, but the Brockport catcher Liam O'Leary just can't hang on to it. Another run scores, and Cortland is now up 3-0. Cortland would score 5 runs in just the first inning. Top of the second now, Cortland's James Varian hits a ground ball to shortstop, and Erin Cook throws it away. 1 run comes in to score. Cortland now up 6-0. Brockport's Tom Kretzler would hit a home run in the bottom of the second inning, and in the middle of the third, their defense shows some signs of life. Ball grounded to Cook, and he turns into a 5-3 double play to get out of the jam for Brockport. And then the top of the fifth inning, a ground ball is hit to Cook, and he throws it to third to gun down the Cortland runner, who loses his helmet as he is called out. But the Red Dragons are just too much for Brockport in this one, as they take Game 1 by a final of 18-3, and they would take Game 2 11-4 to eliminate the Golden Eagles from playoff contention.
Back to Brockport for some softball Wednesday. The 18-13 St. John Fisher Cardinals traveled to 11-17 Brockport for a doubleheader, both looking to finish the season strong. In the top of the first, 2 on, no outs. Ashley Prince hits a dinger to center field to give the Cardinals a convincing early 3-0 lead. Prince is second on the team with an impressive 30 runs batted in on the season. Shortly after, in the bottom of the first, Casey Danko replies with the solo home run deep to center field to make her RBI total 28 and second on the team. Fisher, though, would still lead 6-1 after this home run. And Fisher, well, they showed no sign of slowing down on the day on both offense and defense. Look at the quick reactions from catcher Rachel Evans to get the Cardinals out of a jam, ending the inning. Here we have another Fisher home run, but this one was special. Sarah Kubik broke the Cardinals' all-time RBI record with this no-doubter, an impressive stat that will likely live on for a long time. Congratulations, Sarah. Fisher would go on to win the game 11-3, and they would win the second game of this doubleheader as well, 17-4 the final.
In the final doubleheader of the regular season for Brockport softball, they hosted the Plattsburgh Cardinals Monday afternoon. Bottom of the sixth inning, tied at 4, Alexis Ross with an RBI single scoring Brockport High School grad Mandy Lucas. Brockport takes a 5-4 lead. Next batter, Casey Danko with the double to move Ross to third base. There she goes. She's going to slide in to take the... Yep, she slides in. And then Jessica Koneski with an RBI single driving in Ross. Brockport now has a 6-4 lead. Next batter up, I love saying this name, Allison Misavage. Misavage, how about that? With an RBI double, Brockport would be up 8-4 after the sixth inning. Seventh inning, Brockport looking to put it away when Plattsburgh responds. All right, there's Misavage on second, but she wants to keep it up, but Brockport, Plattsburgh's coming back for them. Emily Nagel hitting an RBI single for the Cardinals. Plattsburgh trails 8-5. Plattsburgh would get one more RBI single to tie it. Jennifer Grote hits an RBI double to tie up the game. We're tied up now 8-8. So now we head into a little later the seventh. Bottom of the seventh now, bases loaded, Koneski up to bat, and the Plattsburgh pitcher walks her in to score the game-winning run. Brockport escapes Plattsburgh in this one, taking Game 1 of the doubleheader 9-8 the final. Brockport would go on to sweep the doubleheader by taking Game 2 by a final score of 14-0.
It feels really great. We came into this day knowing that if we win both games, that they don't make it to the SUNYACs, and that helps other teams. And the fact that we know that we can't get in there, us helping other teams, is the best thing that we can do at this point.
What do you think about the walk-off walk?
I think it was perfect. I was kind of anxious at first base. I didn't want Jess to swing at it, and she didn't. And I think it was just a great way to end up the game. We gave up a couple of runs that we shouldn't have, but we still came out on top at the end, and it felt really great.
So, John, what can you say about the end of the seasons for Brockport softball, men's lacrosse, and baseball?
Well, I think unfortunate end for the men's baseball team and lacrosse team, finishing with losing records. Not the best season, but softball, wow, they really they played well in that last doubleheader, 14-0, and an exciting 9-8 final before that game.
Yeah, well, they showed some signs of life against Plattsburgh, and even though they didn't make the SUNYAC tournament, by them winning, they eliminated Plattsburgh from the SUNYAC tournament, and Fredonia gets in as a 6th seed. So that's pretty good, I'd say, so far. Like as Casey Danko just said, we know we're not going to get in, but by us winning, we can help the other teams who are close getting in, and that's what they did over the weekend, getting Fredonia in.
Yeah.
So pretty good.
So as Casey Danko said, with Brockport knowing they're not in SUNYACs, they wanted to win for the other teams to give them a shot at making it. Their wins over Plattsburgh gave Fredonia a playoff spot.
So while Brockport seasons may be done in both baseball and softball, there is one baseball team in the SUNYAC Conference that is worth watching. Ben Gramato from WTOP 10 in Oswego introduces us to the Oswego State Lakers.
The Oswego men's baseball team's path to its third consecutive SUNYAC title will be a lot more difficult following a series sweep at Cortland over the weekend. Throughout the past several seasons, the Red Dragons have been the Lakers' biggest rivals.
It always comes down, recently it always comes down to us in Cortland. It's definitely turned into a rivalry, not necessarily because I went there, probably because we've been the best two teams in the New York region.
In order for the Lakers to win in the postseason, they will have to succeed in all three facets of the game, according to starting outfielder Mike Delacari.
I think just all three facets of the game, pitching, defense, and hitting, just need to come together, and we need to just stay within ourselves and stay with our team, and I think we'll be all right.
Playing meaningful games late in the year is not unfamiliar territory for a Lakers team with so much postseason experience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of our guys have been there before, so we know how playoff baseball works and how intense it gets and just what we need to do to be successful.
Despite not having home field advantage throughout the SUNYAC tournament, getting the opportunity to win in Cortland again is something that Delacari and his teammates are looking forward to.
Honestly, it was pretty awesome to do it and dogpile on their field. So, I'd love to do it at home, but I don't take anything away from it doing it on their field last year.
For WTOP 10 Sports, I'm Ben Gramato.
The Lakers are currently 26-12, taking 2 out of 3 games against Brockport in Lexington, South Carolina back in March. Oswego opens up SUNYAC play Friday in Cortland at 3 p.m. versus Fredonia.
Now we go down a level to high school, where two moments, I should say, in lacrosse last week were absolutely unforgettable. We head over to Brockport High School, where the Blue Devils took on Gates Chili. In boys lacrosse action, Brockport hosting Gates Chili Thursday night. Fourth quarter, Gates up 3. Brockport coming back. Chris Parker takes the pass from Dylan Vergari and shoots it past the Spartans goalie. Blue Devils trail by 2. Gates Chili look to add to their lead. Blake Palazzi with a rocket, but Blue Devils goalie Eddie Rowley is there for the save. Blue Devils tie it up here now. After scoring one more goal, Vergari with a blast from distance into the back of the net with 1 minute left in regulation. This game is all knotted up at 8 and going to overtime. A thriller here at Brockport High School. And now in overtime, Matthew Hayden taking the shot, and it goes past the Gates Chili goalie into the net for the overtime winner. The Brockport Blue Devils take down Gates Chili 9-8, the final.
Thursday night was a chance for Spencerport's Erin Coykendall to clinch a milestone, only 6 points away from 600 as the Rangers host the Brockport Blue Devils. And Coykendall, she gets it going early. Here she picks up 1 point after taking the pass from Natalie Choate and dishing it off to Cameron Sack for the goal. Spencerport takes an early 1-0 lead. Then it's all about Erin after that. Here, she takes the pass from Cameron Sack and splits it between the pipes for another Rangers goal. And then it's Coykendall's time to shine. With Spencerport up by 10, she passes it to Kat Wall for the goal. That assist marks it 600 career points for Erin Coykendall, who is now the first player in Section 5 in New York State to reach 600 points. Coykendall would end the night with 603 as the Rangers dominate Brockport 25-1, the final.
Back at Brockport High School Saturday, where the Brockport Blue Devils hosted the Irondequoit Eagles in Section 5 girls lacrosse action. First quarter, Irondequoit getting this thing started. Bridget Inklema finds Marina Butler for the top shelf goal. Then Inklema would score one of her own as she tickles the twine here, as you see. And then Maddie Green would bury one from distance. Eagles ready to take down, as you see there, Inklema scoring from short distance, but it's Maddie Green now from long distance. Eagles gonna go on to roll over the Brockport Blue Devils. The final score is 20-2.
Wow, what do you think about that? A lot of great things that happened. We saw that overtime game winner, but the one thing I want to highlight, Erin Coykendall's 600th career point, big milestone. What can you say about Erin's 600th milestone, John?
Well, she is quite the lacrosse player. She's an amazing athlete. She can play soccer, lacrosse, going Division I for lacrosse. I think it's just phenomenal for her to get such an honor like that. First in Section 5, second ever in the state to reach that milestone. Amazing.
She went into the game against Brockport down 6 points. She was like 6 points away to get it, and she got it.
She ended up, and poor Brockport losing a couple of games, 25-1 and 20-2. That's not too good for them, but good for Coykendall.
Yep, no one can stop Erin Coykendall. Yep. One of the best out there in Section 5 and the Northwestern Lacrosse commit. Now we shift to AHL playoff action where the Rochester Americans took on the Toronto Marlies in Game 3 of the North Division semifinals. Scott Wedgwood and the Amherst looking to avoid being swept out of the playoffs for the second year in a row as the series shifts to Toronto. Just under 2 minutes into the game, and it doesn't look good for the Amherst so far, Adam Brooks beats Scott Wedgwood to give the Marlies a 1-0 lead. The score would stay that way through the first period. Amherst respond, though, on the power play in the second period. Tage Thompson blasts one from distance top shelf. Game tied up 1-1. But a few minutes later, Toronto strikes back on their home ice. Brooks, same guy, Adam Brooks, he deflects the puck in on a one shot from the blue line to get the Coca-Cola Coliseum going wild. Marlies go back into the lead, 2-1. Third period, Rochester has an empty net, and it's Brooks again with the shot from long range to seal it. It would be a hat trick for Brooks as the Amherst fall to the Marlies and get swept out of the playoffs for the second year in a row, 3-1 to final.
I'm not thinking anything about any team next year or whatever. I'm just still processing, what just happened, and that's the tough part. And for lineup changes, it's on me. Everything's on me. So I'll protect my players. They played their hearts out. They gave everything they could. Wish they would have executed on some plays, but everything it all comes down to me. I'll take all blame for why we've already gone over all the analytics of the games and everything and what we can do better as a staff, and we gotta get better. We have to. Can't obviously keep doing this, and again, that all falls on me.
Well, we do have some news to share at Talent Television. This is Ben's last sportscast.
Indeed it is, John. I'm heading off to bigger and better things. Thank you to the college at Brockport, the athletic teams here, the RIT hockey team, the high schools in Section 5, and the Rochester Americans for letting me cover your programs the past 2 years. I don't know where I'm heading yet, but I'm going to miss everyone here in Brockport and the greater Rochester area.
Yeah, Ben's definitely not far from perfect, but he has worked so hard over the past few years here, and that's undeniable how much work Ben puts into this. It's his passion, and it's been really a good time anchoring with him throughout his time here at Talon.
I miss my best partner, John.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the two of us together.
Okay, yeah.
I know. We had a great time together, John. I'm really going to miss you next year.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you.
Yep.
Too.
So for the last time, as me and John just said, thank you all for tuning in the past 2 years. For the last time, he is John Gehring, and I am Ben Vahey. Thanks for watching.